Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I am Braden. This is Langley Outdoors Academy, the place where we not only talk about what's going on in the gun world, but also how we're going to fix it together. And my brothers and sisters, what I'm about to show you is what happens when gun controllers get in touch and in control of AI. And I'll be honest with you, this is pretty creepy what they're up to right now. Everything will be linked in the description box below. And of course, let me know what you think in the comments field below, and make sure you smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and turn that notification bell on. We would love to have you help us grow the channel in the light of all the algorithmic shenanigans. Thank you so much for that consideration. All right, my brothers and sisters, this content is brought to you by American Hartford Gold. I'm going to show you a quick word from them, and then we're going to hit this. And the content today is brought to you by American Hartford Gold. And brothers and sisters, with everything popping off around the world, wars cracking off, we've got inflation issues, we've got stock market volatility, we have cash concerns, we have oil concerns. It's a good time to take a look at least know your options with American Hartford Gold. They are dedicated to offering gold, silver, platinum, coins, and bars for your investing needs. Whether you want to do it delivered to your door or you want an IRA, Roth IRA, 401k, TSP, they've got options. This is something you guys should check out. At American Hartford Gold, they aim to educate clients about investments in the precious metal industry, strive to provide unparalleled customer service built on trust, integrity, and absolute transparency, while holding a goal of achieving 100% customer satisfaction. Click the link in the description or call 844-727-3199. That's 844-727-3199, or text Langley to 65532. Again, that's 844-727-3199, or text Langley to 65532. All right, it's time. We're about to get creepy. I'm going to be honest, we are. Now, we're about to talk about the parents of one of the victims in the Parkland shooting that happened in 2018 at the high school, which they consistently push off of. This is going to be something that's going to be a little uncomfortable, just fair warning. Now let's dive into this, and then I'll say a few things after I introduce the point. Families using recreated voices of gun violence victims to call lawmakers. Now this is an article from the AP, and this is something that's breaking on the anniversary of the Parkland tragedy, right? Here we go. Joaquin Guac Oliver died in the 2018 Parkland, Florida high school massacre, but federal lawmakers who opposed tighter gun regulations began getting phone calls with his voice on Wednesday, lambasting them for their position. Here's what I'm going to say ahead of this of all the details I'm about to show you. The parents of the victims, I genuinely feel for. I could not imagine going through what they've gone through. Now, I believe that the way that they are processing and healing is the incorrect approach to it. They should not be focusing on taking the rights of others. They should be focusing on criminal behavior, but that's not my thing. I'm not in their shoes. However, I am in the shoes of a Second Amendment advocate, and I am concerned with the rights of everybody in the nation. I feel for these people, and I'm not making this video to attack them directly, and I don't want to make them feel attacked. But this is what happens when misplaced grief goes off the rails, in my opinion. This is kind of out there, all right? The families of Oliver and 5 others killed with guns are using artificial intelligence to create messages in their loved ones' voices and robocalling them to senators and House members who support the NRA and oppose tougher gun laws. The protest is being run through the Shotline website, where visitors select which offices receive calls. So, in summation, people who have had loved ones who have died in mass tragedies like this, they're having their voices recreated by AI, and this is all in line with gun control groups, March for Our Lives, Everytown for Gun Safety, Gifters.org, in this specific instance, March for Our Lives. And they are recreating those voices, and they are calling legislators and officials from those voices saying it's your fault that I am deceased. This is beyond the pale, in my opinion. This is bordering on uncomfortable. Okay? Not uncomfortable from the fact that they want political change. The tactics of which they are using is a point of concern. This is the exact same groups that put coffins and spell out words on the Mall of Washington, D.C. March for Our Lives did that one. You've got the parents of the individual we're talking here who's leading this charge who have been arrested for doing illegal protest. They've been kicked out of political hearings where gun controllers invited them into them. This is something that is not exactly kosher. All right, let's keep going. Let me show you what's up. Manuel and Patricia Oliver, Joaquin's parents, say the campaign is based on the often cited idea that if someone wants laws changed, the first step is calling elected representatives. Immigrants from Venezuela who became U.S. citizens, they want the sale of guns like the AR-15 banned. Yeah, no kidding. Of course they do. That's what their whole point is now, right? So this is the irritating part about this is you're taking it to an extreme, to a point where it's just getting uncomfortable. Sometimes the tactics in which you use are going to be louder than the actual message that you're trying to convey. That's one of the reasons that I don't do extremely exacerbated points in deliveries, is because sometimes the message can get lost with what you're actually trying to achieve because it's focusing on the spectacle. In this case, that's what we're looking for. Now, here's a quote. Now, this is going back to reality. Listen to this. Quote, "We come from a place," this is his parents, "where gun violence is a problem, but you will never see a 19-year-old with an AR-15 getting into a school and shooting people," Manuel Oliver said. "There's a reason for the gun violence in a third world country. There's no reason for the gun violence and the amount of victims in the United States." And this is where it kind of gets a little off the rails, other than the whole creepy voice from the grave thing. They're saying that it's understandable why there's gun violence in a third world country, but it's not understandable why there's gun violence in the first world country. Understand that the root causes are the same: criminal behavior. That's the entire point. This kind of flies in the face of that whole talking point that the left does where, well, we are the worst in gun violence if you take out all the bad ones and then you only focus on the wealthiest ones, and then also modern democracies. They change and cook the books completely, but then if you do it, actually remove everything and do the right numbers, it's a lot lower. This doesn't make sense. Why is it okay for gun violence in a third world country? How can you understand it there, but you can't understand it when there's criminal behavior in both countries? Why is that a hard thing to process? Anyway, let's continue. I got one more thing because this is where it starts to get even more uncomfortable, to be quite honest with you. After Joaquin's murder, the Olivers founded Change the Ref, which is sponsoring the website with March for Our Lives. So March for Our Lives has direct thumbprints on this. Davey Hogg's group. A group created by Stoneman Douglas students. Both recruit young people through non-traditional demonstrations like the AI calls and die-ins where students protested inside supermarket chains that donated to a pro-NRA politician. That's what these people are about. They're about making spectacles of themselves and about getting attention through extreme measures. AI calls of dead students to lawmakers. Oh, that's not uncomfortable. Putting caskets on the Washington Mall and spelling out words with them. Then doing die-ins and basically inconveniencing everyone in a grocery store with students through non-traditional protest means. They're jumping the shark. Understand, that's the point of this video. They are going beyond the I want gun control, common sense gun control, and now they are going into the zealotry area. This is extremely weird and creepy. I'm not saying that we should look at it and look, they're doing their job and they're getting what they want. My point is, this is beyond the pale. No one wanted any of these things to happen. No one continues to want these things to happen. But the fact is, we have gun rights in this country, and you can't take them from the entire population because a criminal or a psychopath does X, Y, Z. It really is that black and white. But anyway, let's continue. I got a couple more things. This is what they had to do in order to create this. To make the recordings, the Olivers and other families gave an AI company audio of their loved ones, and it recreated their voices, changing tone and pattern based on relatives' suggestions. Here's the actual verbiage from the actual call. It continues after the introduction. Quote, "I died that day in Parkland. My body was destroyed by a weapon of war. I'm back today because my parents used AI to recreate my voice to call you. Other victims like me will be calling too, again and again, to demand action. How many calls will it take for you to care? How many dead voices will you hear before you finally listen?" They are moving out of activism and into zealotry at this point. And that's kind of what I wanted to bring forward. There is no longer a line where we avoid creepy behavior, where we avoid beyond the pale behavior, because now it's all about the mission. We're getting into a zealotry, a mission first, and a true believer status, which is a little concerning.